So, you've crossed that sacred line. You've become that ultimate killer, a leader, not the sheep following the shepherd, and now you want to know how to truly rise to greatness on the backs of your battle-hardened men. To truly rise above the rest, I'm going to mold you from a blunt instrument of death into a sharpened blade that's as beautiful as it is deadly. I'm DRBC007 and I'm bringing you another Battlefield Bootcamp. Here you'll begin your officer training with some pro tips that will take you to the very next level. It's where we separate the wheat from the chaff, the strong from the weak of body and mind, and the intelligent from the dangerously dim. If you think you've got what it takes, keep watching, and even if you think you know it all, you might just learn something new. Number 1. To bayonet or not to bayonet. There are pros and cons to equipping the bayonet and to removing it from the weapon altogether, but if I'm honest with you, and that's one thing Sister Margarita says I am, I would have to say remove it completely. Of course it feels wonderful when you stab an enemy through the side with the force of a charging bull, but I think personally the cons outweigh the positives, and I will explain. The developers actually publicise that the bayonet affects weapon recoil and aiming speed after running, and I have a link to the article in the description notes below. It's not much, but millisecond stack and could be the difference between you killing your opponent or taking a fat slug of metal to your stupid dumbfounded face. Here you can see the effects of a short sprint and then firing with the bayonet attached and then without. I've slowed it down to show you more clearly, and as you can see, there's a definite difference. Bayonet on and bayonet off. Most of your fighting is done with your gun and shooting it, so that should always take priority over a bayonet charge that could leave you in the open or a random bayonet stab to a hapless enemy. You can still melee kill an enemy just without the bayonet. In removing it, you will simply be a deadlier threat, being able to shoot enemies that little bit faster and more accurately, thus having a huge advantage. Number 2. The kill zone. Since the dawn of man, we have been hitting each other with blunt objects and stabbing each other with pointy ones, and even as our weapons and technology improves and advances, close quarters hand-to-hand melee combat will still be the last line and sometimes the most satisfying way to dispatch an enemy, but you need to know how to do it properly. The stats that come with each melee weapon, and there are lots of different versions, really do mean something. There are 3 main categories: the knife, the club, and a heavier group of melee weapon. When attacking an enemy from the front or side, your weapon will do its base damage until the enemy's health is low enough for that kill animation. So damage and speed come into play, I hear you say? Well, you'd be right and you'd be wrong. Come at an enemy from behind and you'll be able to pull off a one-shot kill with any of the melee weapons, but each weapon has a different kill zone. The greater the kill zone, the wider angle you'll be able to kill an enemy from behind. You'll also know that when you're ready for a one-shot melee kill, your weapon would begin to rise, ready for the strike, but often a melee encounter is so quick, you'll end up swiping through the air quicker than that annoying woman running away from Jack Nicholson in The Shining, so make sure you try to get as close as possible before you start stabbing. Clubs are probably the best all round, with their stats very balanced, evening out damage, speed, and kill zone. Now go and crack some skulls. Number 3. Drop and roll. Many people do not know this. I don't know how, but they don't. But you can actually decrease fire damage to your private parts if you hit the dirt. Go prone. Obviously not on the flare or incendiary grenade that's burning in the rubble, but get out of the danger zone and hit the ground. It slows the burning damage, stopping you from taking it, so drop and roll quicker than that chubby kid from Hook. On this same point, don't run. Running actually increases fire damage. I know it takes some serious balls to walk away while on fire and stay in the vicinity of an enemy that's trying to flambe your testicles, but running will more than likely guarantee them that kill, and we don't want that now, do we? So drop and roll and return their good graces with a couple of bullets to their chest. Well, that's part 1 of your officer training pro tips, and I have faith that you'll utilise this information to lead your team to victory. So go out there and put these skills to work and make me and your mama proud. In the next chapter, we'll be taking a deeper look at the mechanics of squad leader and how to really succeed while leading men. If you found this information useful and you think others might too, please do click on that like button and do leave a comment if you want to share any other wartime secrets. For more tips, tricks, profound nonsense and all things Battlefield 1, stay tuned and please do remember to like, share and of course subscribe. I'm DRBC007, signing off.